Hello and welcome to my presentation, Progression or Procrastination, You Decide, by Louise Northam. Here is the basic outline for my presentation, just in case you fall asleep halfway through and decide to join back with me. So firstly, I will discuss my thoughts and feelings before the module, and then I will explain what I learnt during the module and end with a realisation and reflection of the module as a whole. To give you an inkling of how my journey went, this is a quote from a woman who didn't have a clue. Me. I'm going to have a whole portfolio and get a work placement by summer. How naive and ambitious I was. So, pre-module, all I knew before this module was that I wanted to be in advertising. Little did I know about the amount of different aspects within advertising there were. Not only did I not have a lot of knowledge on the areas of advertising, I also had no experience in the field whatsoever, which you would have thought would have given me that push to find a placement. Wrong. I had so much passion for advertising but lacked confidence in what I was producing, and confidence in myself in general. Therefore, I wanted to gain an understanding of the whole process of getting a placement from start to finish within this module. The guest speakers that made an impact. During this module, I had heard so many different stories within the different perspectives from amazing people within the industry. However, there were a few that stuck to mind and really made an impact. I will begin with my favourite guest speakers, Girls on Tour. After that lecture, I was so uplifted and pleasantly surprised that what I had believed the ad world to be wasn't the case anymore. I was under the impression that the advertising industry still had the Mad Men era vibe with women. Of course, sexism remains a battle for women in the industry, but nowhere near as intense as those days. The agency these women work for is The And Partnership, and if I'm honest, this agency is going to be my career dream board on there. I had no idea there were all female agencies, and it was really empowering to listen to them talk about everything from how they dealt with stereotypes to the amazing work they were producing. Now, Ravi and Andy gave me quite the opposite view on the industry, as they explained that if you aren't a white straight man, then you'll have to work that little bit harder to get noticed. Obviously, this took me back a bit, but it also gave me that well-needed reality check after such an inspiring talk with the Girls on Tour. I then understood that everyone's story to becoming successful is different, and each encountered different obstacles. Finally, I really enjoyed Holly's lecture on creating a portfolio that stands out. I found this really extremely useful, as I didn't know where to even start with mine. I became aware that it didn't have to look overly professional, as long as it presented yourself in a creative way. I found it overwhelming to even think about starting mine, but after this lecture it really encouraged me to get going. Mine and Elliot's pitch. Now, this was an interesting experience, trying to compete against my peers to win a placement. This was the first time me and Elliot had worked together, and despite how anxious we were, we did great. Well, evidently not great enough to win a placement, but still great. Our presenting skills complemented each other, and we managed to get through the pitch receiving great feedback, although I think the adrenaline of pitching to two complete strangers had took over me, as I can't remember any of the feedback, but Elliot tells me it was great, so... Next time I would definitely work on being less anxious, as I think this took up too much of the time that could have been used into thinking of the idea. I found it hard presenting work online, as I feel as though you don't have that connection with people you're talking to. I couldn't see their reaction, and I was worried that I might have cut out or had some technical difficulties. I have made my mind up. I can't exert or feel the energy online, and to be honest, it may be more nerve-wracking in person, but I think I would much prefer it. The work placement, or lack of. I didn't manage to get myself a placement, and as much as I would like to pass all the blame onto COVID, if I'm honest, I didn't put in as much effort into getting one as I should have, now looking back on it. To give myself a bit of credit though, I did make a start. I created a LinkedIn page. I had never used LinkedIn and had little knowledge on it. Once I got to grips with it, I started connecting with people that had been guest speakers, and I connected with my peers. I messaged one guest speaker in hope to understand more about the industry, however she never replied. This was the first time I had ever contacted a creative, so I had to build up the courage to do so. Regardless of her not replying, in the future I would definitely put myself out there more, and I don't feel so embarrassed now to approach other creatives after this first rejection. After creating my LinkedIn page, I decided to have a go at my portfolio. This didn't go as planned. I realised that there wasn't a lot of work that I really felt was good enough to, in my opinion, to be on there. I admit that I think I was comparing mine to examples that were shown in one of the lectures and other people's, and this will certainly be something I need to work on, as I do find myself comparing my work, which results in me not wanting to showcase it. Although I will start doing 1 minute briefs in the future, so I have more work to upload and I can practice and I can make something that I'll be proud of. Once I have finished my portfolio, I will keep uploading the pieces that I've created so it can grow and be kept updated. In addition to this, I will be asking creatives to look at my portfolio once it's finished for feedback to improve. On a side note, I do appreciate that everyone would have different opinions, so at the end of the day, I do have to go with my gut feeling. As you can see above, that I did apply for one summer internship at Penguin Random House, and unfortunately didn't make the cut. As perfect as a summer internship would have been, I couldn't only apply for one and expect to get it. Moving forward from this, I would definitely apply for more and not let one rejection stop me from applying to others. It wasn't meant to be, but I also need to put myself out there more. Now to share the blame a little. COVID has really taken its toll. From being hard to network with people to companies not wanting or needing young creatives like myself, shadowing or helping them, and everything in between. But let's be realistic. Even if I had got a placement and was able to carry out online, it wouldn't even compare to when I would eventually go into a workplace, and it would have given me unrealistic expectations. I think everyone can agree that social anxiety will be at an all-time high coming out of the COVID era, but I think I would especially find it intimidating presenting my work in person after doing it for so long online. To think that I was imagining it being like a battlefield, trying to get my foot in the door before COVID, I don't even want to think about how hard it would be post-COVID. In order to prepare, as previously stated, I will try confidently contacting creatives, trying to get an internship or work placement to get my step on the ladder. Reflection. So, what went well? Time to be a little self-indulgent. I made a start and I know exactly what I need to do to go further. I also realised that I much prefer the idea process and understanding the consumer than actually bringing the ideas to life. Although saying this, I will spend some time over summer working on my Adobe Suite skills, as this may sway my decision if I actually get any good at it. If I am able to say that I have completed my first pitch to strangers, even if it didn't go how I wanted. In the future, if this were to occur again, which I'm sure it will, I would ask for feedback and understand what I could do to improve. What didn't go well? Where to begin? I didn't try and push myself to get a placement as much as I could have. I let myself compare my work against other people's, and I didn't manage to complete my portfolio. But moving on swiftly, what am I going to do about all of which I just mentioned? I will start with curating my portfolio I am proud of, and then sending it to people for constructive feedback. Following from this, I will contact creatives and agencies that inspire me, and I will start applying for work placements or internships. Hopefully over time I will achieve my goal of being confident in myself and my work, because You might have heard me say too many times to count in this presentation that I feel quite the opposite. But this is self-inflicted, and I will pull away from comparing my work and start appreciating that everyone is at a different stage and we all have different styles, so you can't compare. What did I realise about myself? Well, after nearly 20 years you would think I would know myself, but apparently not. I never knew how much I relied on my personality, which may not be to everyone's taste, I can appreciate. This may link back to the fact that I am uncertain about my work and not confident, so I rely on the fact that I can charm my way through most things. Well, charm is the wrong word. Maybe I would say chat waffle is more accurate, as you can see in this presentation. I found it hard when presenting my work online to exert the energy and have a good connection with the people on the receiving end. The shift to online has been a struggle for me, but hopefully we are taking a turn and I won't have to present my work online much longer. Although, to prepare for the instance that Boris does put us all in another lockdown, then it all circulates back round to me needing to find confidence in my work. If you managed to stay tuned for all of this, then thanks for watching.